At this point, I can't resist the temptation to tell you my favorite lawyer joke. The devil comes into the lawyer's office. He's very rich. The lawyer says, "What can I do for you?" And the devil says, "No, it's what I can do for you. I can make you richer than Bill Gates, more famous than Alan Dershowitz. All you have to do is sign over your soul and the soul of your wife and children and grandchildren and all your descendants down through all the generations." The lawyer narrows his eyes and says, "So what's the catch?" No rotten apples, no eggs. You'll give me some of them too. No, it's not your profession. It's advertising. It's the world's oldest profession, and you can't buy into any sucker's advertisement. You have to be discriminating. Well, the radical ideological left, at least in philosophy, skeptics and subjectivists and relativists and deconstructionists, treat all ideas as equal. They don't like to discriminate between truth and falsehood. This means that people are not treated equal because some people do this and some don't. Some of us are naive traditional objectivists and believe in truth, and one thing is truer than another. And some, the enlightened skeptics, relativists, and deconstructionists, do not. So really, deconstructionism, which to my mind is the apotheosis of relativism, is nothing but a kind of a sneer. We are the superior skeptics. You people down there discriminate. The much better alternative is exactly the opposite, to treat people as equal and ideas as unequal. For instance, the idea that people are not equal isn't equal to the idea that people are. So in order to be an egalitarian, you have to be an aristocrat about ideas. The egalitarian idea is superior to the anti-egalitarian idea. This confusion between ideas and people, you might think, is so simple that nobody could make it. But I had a friend, actually Father Tasselli, who helped me write the Handbook of Christian Apologetics, who in an ethics class took his ethics class of undergraduate freshmen at Boston College, a mixed bag of people, to a pro-life, pro-choice debate between a pro-lifer and a pro-choicer. The pro-choicers don't debate anymore. They got together and said, "We're losing all the debates, so we have to have a new policy. We don't debate anymore." But this was back when they did debate. You can still find a few foolish people who will enter the lion's den and they get eaten. Well, this was a typical debate. It was all one-sided. Every single argument that the pro-choicer had was conclusively refuted by the pro-lifer, and not a single argument that the pro-lifer has was refuted by the pro-choicer, and everybody knew it. It was painfully obvious. So after the debate, Father Tasselli polled his class and said, "Did the debate change your mind?" And he found that some of the class said no, but many of the class said yes, and he was appalled by the fact that most of those who said yes became more sympathetic to the pro-choice side after that debate. And he asked them why. He said, "Well, the pro-lifer was unfair. He had all the arguments. It was nasty." It wasn't nasty, he was nice, but he was nasty towards ideas. Was it Benjamin Franklin who, after the Constitutional Convention came out of Philadelphia with the Constitution, and some woman said, what have you given us? And he replied, "We've given you a republic if you can keep it." If you can keep it. The operative word there is you. Was it John Adams? One of the founding fathers said, "Democracy works only for a moral and a morally intelligent people." That is, only a morally elitist people. Ideas are not equal, desires and passions are not equal, acts and actions are not equal. And therefore, only if we discriminate will a democracy work. Well, if egalitarianism is so contrary to nature, why does it exist? What are its origins? Lewis points out in this essay, Democratic Education, that there are two different origins of egalitarianism. One of them is noble, and the other is ignoble. And therefore we need to discriminate aristocratically, between the two kinds of egalitarianism. The noble origin of egalitarianism is that it perceives that this is half of justice. Treat equals equally. And if we all equally have human essence, then essential human rights have to be granted equally to all human beings. That's noble. And that's not self-evident. Most of the ancient world did not recognize or practice that. One of the best principles that came out of the Enlightenment, I think, is the principle in Kant's ethics that each individual is an end and never a means, and never to be treated as a means. That each I, qua subject, is absolutely equal or equally absolute to every other I, even though qua object, they're unequal. We're unequal in age, we're unequal in intelligence, we're unequal in ability, we're unequal in usefulness to society, we're unequal in how we make other people happy or unhappy. In every objective, determinable way, people are unequal. In what way are they equal? In what way are they morally equal? Well, there are saints and sinners, there are those who succeed and those who fail in practicing the moral law. In any area that we can judge objectively, people are unequal. How then are they equal? As I's. Each one is a subject. Each one is responsible for his thoughts and his actions and his choices, and therefore must be treated as such. So this is the noble origin of egalitarianism. Actions are not equal, but actors are equal insofar as they're all equally actors, equally persons. Even sinners are to be loved. Sinners and saints are to be loved, but sin is not to be loved equal to sanctity. There's also an ignoble origin to egalitarianism. And this, for Lewis, is one of the most ignoble things in the world, a very, very suspicious origin. It's one of the 7 deadly sins, envy. Envy is the only sin that never once gave anybody any kind of happiness, even fake happiness. It's the stupidest sin in the world. Envy was also the primal sin of Satan. Envy is a part of pride. In fact, when we think of pride, we usually think of an emotion. And if we do, then envy is more fundamental than pride, because most people in our rather egalitarian society do not have the emotion of pride, that is, self-superiority. But we do have a lot of envy. Satan's original sin could be seen as a violation of the fundamental principle of the Bible according to Southern Baptist theology. I love Southern Baptist theology. It simplifies everything. Southern Baptist theology says there's 2 points that God's kind of trying to get across in the Bible. And you can put each of the 2 points in 2 words. So the Bible can be summarized in 4 words. 1, I'm God. 2, you're not. Hard to get that second point across. Well, Satan doesn't like that, especially the second point. And we don't like that either. So there's an envy there. Totalitarian dictators are perhaps secretly envious of the freedom of those people, the interior freedom. And they don't know how to get it. So to compensate for their inferiority morally, they take away the people's exterior freedom.